Hi guys, so if you own Gio Regal or Gio Titan scooters or even Gio Titan Premium like this one, they do come with either front hydraulic brakes or all around front and rear like this Gio Titan Premium model that comes already with a brake disc on the back, and that's why you see those 4 lug nuts. So if you own one of those scooters and you use your brake system, brake levers, and your brakes are making terribly squeaking noise, squealing noise, well, could be a couple of reasons for that, and I will show you those reasons while I'll be removing brake caliper and brake pads, inspecting, doing some lubrication and cleaning. So for this procedure I will be using 6mm Allen wrench. I'll be using a 3mm Allen wrench. Lubricant for the brake pads. You can buy this lubricant, doesn't matter if it's a this brand or any brand. You go to your local auto parts store and ask them for brake lube and they will offer you. And multi-purpose synthetic grease. This one is good as this one can be used for many different purposes, like for electrical system as a dielectric grease to keep moisture away from your electrical contacts on your scooter, or to lubricating some of the rubber boots on your electric scooter. Flat screwdriver, fine grit sandpaper, wooden block, doesn't matter how short it is. I just had this one and that's why it's that big. I didn't want to cut it, and the brake cleaner. So let's start with front brake caliper. So you will need to use your 6mm hex Allen key. If you have a power tools, it's fine with me. Removing one bolt, breaking, cracking this one, and loosening the second bolt. Now, as you can see, many people might think that it will not come out because of the brake disc, but it actually comes out fairly easy. And this is your brake pads right here. So let's use a 3mm wrench and remove those 2 bolts that hold in those brake pads. Okay, this is one. Hold it with your big thumb, those 2 brake pads, because there is a spring underneath. I will show you. Now we're ready to remove one brake pad and the second one, and there is your spring on the bottom. So usually brake pads will be making that noise when this round cylinder or piston is touching the back of the brake pad, because there is no anti-rattling plate on the back. It's creating little metal to metal direct noise. So some factories, they even put little bit of like a regular oil between this brake pad and the master or piston. Some don't do nothing. This would be one of the reasons why it's making noise. Same as on this side. If the brake pad is sitting right here, those back brackets, those brackets touching this back of the brake pad and creating little noise. So that's why you want to apply a little bit of lubricant on the back plate of each brake pad, between the piston and the brake pad and this red caliper bracket. Now this would be number 1 reason. Number 2 reason, your brake pads may be glazed. Maybe you can see some discoloration on my brake pads. So this is brand new brake pad, and it's not a big deal right now because those brake pads were not seated properly yet. There was no break-in period, let's say that. But if you've been using your scooter for longer than, let's say, 3 months, and those brake pads started to making this squeaking noise. That means that your brake pads are glazed. And here's what you need to do. So you want to take a little wooden block, just like here. Take your brake pad and shave it. But you need extra fine sanding paper like this one, 600 grit, even better. So until you see same color, like a gray color brake pad, make sure that your block is perfectly even. So do same with this brake pad. As you can see maybe on the camera, I'm not sure if it's reflecting properly or not, but there is some discoloration. But again, this is brand new pad, but still. By the way, if you see wetness on the camera, that's how factory apply a little bit of oil to prevent from making any noise. Okay, well, that's enough in my case. Now, in your case, you want to sand those brake pads down, and you want to take a little bit of sandpaper and sand down your brake disc, because the brake disc get glazed also. So just do the sanding all around. Maybe move your scooter forward if you're not removing the wheel for this procedure and you do it on the scooter like I am, and do the same from the inside. Just remove that glaze. Don't do anything crazy, just removing that layer of glaze. And that's it. Basically we are done. Now I'm going to clean those brake pads from the back, and with the brake cleaner. Okay. And now I'm going to apply one of those lubricants that I've been showing you. This is anti-seize compound, just a slight thin layer on the back of the brake pad. But before you do that, inspect your sliding caliper right here, because it's supposed to move freely, just like I'm showing you in my. So when you push it out, it's going to, the rubber seal has a compression, so it's going to pull it back just like a spring. There is no spring inside, so let me remove it and see there is a light pins. So factory they use little bit of oil inside, but so those rubber bushings, let's say that they are wet, and these pins are going to slide freely. So because those brakes they cannot overheat just like your vehicle or truck, it's supposed to just freely moving up and down. Okay, so that's why I am recommending to use a little bit of multi-purpose synthetic grease. So this synthetic grease will not damage those rubber bushings or boots. But don't apply too much, because like this one is actually it's like a boot that, but it's with a hole going through, but still there is no through hole because it's all going inside of this metal housing. So apply a little bit of grease, not too much, otherwise you're going to create airlock, like just lubricate it with a little bit of grease on those pins, so they're going to slide freely, but not too much. And then install everything back in place and make sure that it's moving freely like it should. Okay. I'm trying to see if I'm installing this right way or not, so I'm measuring to the caliper. Yes, that's how it's supposed to be. I don't want to install it wrong way. Now Now I'm going to install a little bit of grease on the back of those pads. This one has a copper, this anti-seize compound, but if you're gonna have a different color, it does not matter. Okay. Okay. So nothing crazy, just a thin layer of this compound. And now we're going to install one pad and other pad. And hold it with your finger down, because you're going to insert those connecting or those pins that hold in through the hole. I mean, I'm going to remove it one more time just to show you where those bolts been going through. I should have showed you before I install it, but this is not too late. So those pins are going right here. You can even put a little bit of lubricant on this sliding pin also. This is a good idea too, so let's do it. Once we open that, now this is a good time to do it. So I'm going to apply it here and here. Again, not too much, just a little bit. Same on this one. Okay. As long as you don't apply any compound on the actual back of the pad. Okay, let's put everything back. Oops. Okay, now press it down with your fingers so you can install those two guides. And you're almost done. And this will be that compound and that silicone will prevent and shaving some of the glaze of the brake pads should eliminate all of the squeaking noise. Now we're going to spread those brake pads. How we're going to spread it? That's why we needed screwdriver. So on the bottom of the brake pads you're going to spread, so the inner brake pad is going to press the cylinder piston inside. So you're going to widen this gap before the installation. So do not apply screwdriver in between the pads because you're going to damage them. Now once you spread them, now let's try to install it. And do not go crazy with those bolts. That's a good idea. Maybe I should advise you to use a Loctite, blue color Loctite, but not necessary because I don't see the factory been using it. Now we're going to press our brake lever a couple times, see if it's going to stop our. You can clean your brake disc now all around and try to roll and stop a couple times until it's all firm. Now do the same procedure on the back if you have exactly the same hydraulic system, because all of the tools are the same, 6mm and 3mm wrenches. Now if you have a Gio Titan or Gio Regal with cable brakes and you have brake shoes and you experience exactly the same squeaking noise on the back, so that means that your brake shoes have glaze. So you need to remove that layer. So you will need to lift up the rear end of the scooter, remove your wheel, and you will have full access to the brakes. Then take a sandpaper and sand this shape off that layer of the glaze. And do the same with the inside of the brake drum, inside of your brake rim. And clean everything with the brake cleaner. Nothing needs to be lubricated on the back if you have a cable brakes. Everything's supposed to be dry without any lubricant, and you're good to go. How to adjust those brakes, I have a detailed video, so look on my other videos if you want to know how to do the proper adjustment of the rear brakes on a cable system. Alright, well, like it or not, glory to God and glory to Ukraine. Stay safe.